Oh, that's a very interesting fade you guys did there. Hey, welcome so much to the Main Stage Music live stream. And today we are focusing on an absolutely incredible piece of equipment. I also want to tell you we've got an awesome special guest, a celebrity right here at Main Stage Studios. My friend. You know what? We've been friends longer than we've not been friends.
I think so.
That's bizarre. So this is my friend Adam Newport. And Adam is a professional bass and drummer. He plays with the touring recording artist band, The Explorers Club. Is that right? The Explorers Club?
Yes, that's right.
And anyways, he has been playing bass as long as I've known him. So I thought, you know, what better person to bring in to do a demonstration of a really cool piece of bass equipment than Adam. So it had to be. Now, of course, as you guys already know, I'm going to be talking about some cool stuff, showing you some neat things. If you want to make a comment, you feel free to do that, okay? I mean, because we are all about the comments and blah, 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 blah. So feel free to, to pipe in and ask any questions, because that's what we're here to do, answer y'all's questions and talk about a really neat piece of gear. Okay, so the neat piece of gear that we are talking about today is by one of our favorite brands, Boss. You know, I call it Boss because they're the boss. Everything they make is freaking amazing. Well, to expand on their Katana line of bass amplifiers that was released some years back, they came out with, this year, the Katana bass. Now, the Katana bass, like the Katana amps that you guys are probably already familiar with, I mean, they're on, their second variation already. They wanted to bring to bass players what guitar players already know is pretty dang incredible. So the Katana bass, first of all, is portable, lightweight, sounds amazing, built like a brick outhouse, very affordable. It's actually less expensive than most other bass amps without a modicum, even close to the amount of features this has. Same price. But also, just stylish. No, just kidding. They come in two variations. They come in the 110, which is what we're focusing on here. But they also, for the guys who need some, muscle, they have a 210 combo with quite a bit of Class D power. So that being said, the Katana bass. So if you will, you can look at it right here. It is a single 10-inch combo, the one that we're demoing. Again, it's lightweight, it's portable, so on and so forth. So you might think, well, wait a minute. Why is this a cool amplifier? Okay, well, it features some onboard effects. It features so on. But it also features this right here, which I want to appreciate my forward-thinking engineer. It features an app that you can plug into your computer that then unlocks all sorts of features. Now, hey, switch back to me here. So if you guys come into the store, here's what that means. It means that you're going to go here, look at this amplifier, and go, man, this does sound pretty good. I like it. Oh, and look, it's got an effect, and you push a button, and an effect turns on, okay? But that doesn't mean that that's all this amp has. What I'm saying is that if you plug this into your laptop or desktop at home, you can unlock all sorts of additional effects, features, and so on that you can write to the amp. So the amp already has the power built in, okay? But you have to unlock that using your computer, okay? So isn't that the way everything is, though, right? Oh, I want to send emails. You need a computer, okay? I mean, everything involves a computer. So it's part of our lives. Let's just get past the plebeian thing of, I don't want to hook up. Okay, I don't either. I wish we were imbued with transcendency and it. Okay, but reality says your computer does a lot of cool things for us, and this is no different. Okay, so you download this free app. So if you will, this is what it's going to look like on your computer screen. So what this shows here, this is my mouse. It's going to show you the knobs the same way they're laid out on the amplifier, okay? So from left to right, you have your compression and your drive, Yeah, that's cool. You have your amplifier type, and of course gain and volume. Next, you have this blend feature, and then your 4-band equalizer, and then lastly you have the effects. You have 2 different effects engines built in, and then you can actually turn the tweeter on and off. How cool is that? Now, when I am turning these knobs, they're actually turning the amp in real time, by the way. So now I am virtually controlling this amplifier just by turning this on and off. So actually, Adam, let's go ahead and just demonstrate that. Now, I'm not touching the amp. Go ahead and, hey, show my picture here. See, look, here's both my hands. I'm not touching the amplifier. So go ahead and let's play that track we started with. Okay, and I'm going to, and then switch to the effects screen, and I'm going to make adjustments as Adam is playing, and you'll see that you're actually controlling it with the computer. So there you go, kind of cool little groove there going on. Now I've set it on the effects right here. You can see, you can turn that on and off. So that's what it sounds like with no effects. Let's say you have effects too right here. You have a pull down menu. So here's a chorusing effect. You click the pull down menu. It's a flanger. Phaser. Univibe. Tremolo. As you can see, there's a lot of cool, hitting the slow gear, that's fun. So many, you can't hardly even mention them all. Look at this. D fretter. Makes your bass sound like it's got a fretless. The slicer's a cool feature. Let's match the tempo. You can even add drive effects. So let's say we're going to add a drive. Here is a drive right here. Let's add just a bass overdrive. Let's say I wanted to change it to fuzz. Just kind of a driven tube amp sound. You can see that there's editing features on each one of these that allows you to really dial in the effect that you're messing with. So the key with this amplifier is go ahead and trim that. Let's go ahead and just hit stop there. Okay. The cool thing is that, let's face it, every bass player, every guitar player, okay, we'll find ourselves in a situation where some songs need a clean setting, some songs need a crunchy setting, some songs need a fuzzy or whatever. So this amplifier, without having to have a pedal board, okay, without having to have several different amplifiers, will give you all sorts of different tones with one easy, setting. So you can actually write these, save them, and then just recall them whenever you want to. So let's say you're, some people play in a variety band, maybe you play in church, something like that, where you have one sound that you just want it to be, smooth sounding. We can have a setting for that. Another song for a different set. You just push the button once it's saved, and you've got everything in one amplifier. Now, here's what I'm kind of curious about. You guys may not know this or believe this. I don't care. But this is the very first time Adam has ever played this amplifier, okay? Now, as a bass player, I know that you don't have one of these, okay? It's a pretty new product.
That's right.
Okay, so now, and feel free to be honest. I mean, I think you play, what, an orange?
Yeah, most of the time.
An orange bass amp. Now, I mean, you bought the orange for the tone of probably the, what is he? Do you have a tube version, or is it your
Well,
Class D?
I used an Ampeg SVT Classic, the all tube.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the orange as a lighter weight replacement for that.
Well, I mean, that makes a big deal. I mean, you were just, you did a tour. You went all the way to New York.
Oh, yeah. It was
Could
fun.
you imagine hauling an SVT Classic?
I was glad to have the lighter weight amp.
No doubt. Well, and honestly, let's face it, a lot of us musicians are getting a little older, and who wants to, hey man, can you help me haul my bass head into the gig? It's not fun, okay? So having something that is a lot more suited to our, just one guy carrying it in, makes a lot more sense. So now, that being said, the tone of this amplifier, now I've only set it on one setting, and feel free, I mean, I know we're listening through headphones and not really through, but I mean, would you say that it's pretty respectable tone?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a great sound. Now, we've only, just so you guys know, we've only listened to one setting on this, and that is the flat setting. For people who don't know what that means, it means that it basically be like your amp set at 0 all the way across the board. There's no real but if you look here, go back to the screen where you can see the editor. You can see that there are 3 different types of amplifier. There's vintage, flat, and modern. So flat is, I always like to start with flat because it's boring, okay? But vintage gives you that tube-driven sound like an SVT Classic would. So just for giggles, you don't have to put a jam track on. Just play like a bass line, okay? And we're going to start it on flat so that you guys can hear what it sounds like when you switch to vintage. Go for it. See how different that sounds? Let's go back to flat and listen. So it smooths it out, gives you that nice round tones. Now, additionally, you have modern. Now, let's listen to what that sounds like, comparing it to flat. Okay, so there's the modern. There's flat. There's modern. And then vintage. So effectively, what does that mean? Okay, vintage, you definitely have a little bit of a grit to it. It has an enhanced deep mid-range. Flat is very boring. With the modern, it sounds like they boosted the bass, did a little bit of a mid-scoop. So it just depends on the style of music that you're playing. Now, who would use what styles? Okay. If you're into, let's just say, older music, rockabilly, old classic rock stuff, Motown, whatever, oh man, vintage is it. That is the sound, okay? If you are into modern country, okay, so let's say pop country made from 1980 forward, the modern sound is really the sound people want. And, with that, also maybe a little bit of a chorusing effect for that country guy is really a good sound there. So let's do a little chorusing effect and turn that on. Let's see what that sounds like. Go for it. Let's hear a little. Yeah, get that nice smooth bass heavy sound. And you can see the EQ here is fairly flat. Compression at about 65, okay? So, do we have a country track we can put with this, and so you guys can hear what a good modern country... yeah, let's go for it. There you go, that's a modern country sound. Went on sound on the main stage. Got me a Katana bass. All these features right me, right in my face. Man, I'll tell you, that hits it right on, doesn't it? You could even take the drive effect here. Let's take it off of just a light overdrive. This adds a little attitude to it. Now keep on playing, but I'm going to switch it to flat so you guys can hear the difference. And then vintage. Yeah, the modern country sound needs that modern bass tone. Yeah, that sounds real good. So, basically, you know, with this, you guys can probably slow that down. There we go. That sounds good. There we go. Fader on down. Okay, so another couple of neat things about this amplifier. So let's go back to the picture of the amp here. You can see it just looks like a nondescript box. Okay, it's not going to draw attention to or really away from your show. That's a good thing because you're the show, not the gear. Okay, contrary to what some people believe. So the neat thing is you might be thinking, wait a minute, guys, I don't see a microphone in front of that amplifier. How are you have it into the mixer? Okay, because obviously you can hear it, right, at home. So how is that happening? It's because on the back of this, it already builds in an active DI box. That DI box is extremely advanced, too, because first of all, it's active, so it's buffered. You have that nice, clean, noise-free sound. But it also has built into it a ground lift, like a good DI box would have. But it has 3 features, switchable, where you can either choose it post, pre, or direct. Now, what that means is, do you want to hear the effects going through the DI? Some people don't. Let me tell you why. Let's say you're using this in a recording studio. You're going to want to go direct because the recording engineer may want to change the effects or the EQ later on in post, they call it. So in that case, this right here, you can hear the amplifier in whatever effect you had it set at. That way you're not being thrown off. But the recording engineer is getting a nice dry, affected tone into the recording interface. That way he can do whatever he wants with it. That is huge. That is a great feature that, again, Boss had the foresight to think about. It also has built in an effects loop. So if you thought, I like the effects, but I've got my own pedals that I use, it's my thing, you can loop those in, no problem, okay? And then lastly, it has a really neat foot switch that you can, they're optional, but you can purchase that if you go into your computer and set all this stuff up, okay, you can then recall just by pushing a button. So that way, it's like you don't have to have a laptop on stage. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But you can go right ahead and just recall by pushing the button. So it's a pretty cool thing. Okay, well, first of all, I have to say we've been getting very few comments, but the few comments, I always promise people I read them. So we got Dave Powers, who must like the vintage setting. I have to agree. It's my favorite setting on there, too. Vintage, baby. So that's his vote. Kyle Clark says, nice shirt, Brad. You know, this shirt right here, I'm going to share a small little anecdote with you. This is why you take care of your brothers and your friends and your neighbors, okay? This right here is actual Titans wear. Okay, this came from the Tennessee Titans. You cannot buy this shirt. And this, it's actually kind of a thermal. What would you call this?
Yeah, it's kind of like a jacket in a way.
It is. It's just a pullover. But you can't buy these at stores. And actually on the tag on the back is the name of the Tennessee Titan who this belonged to. Yeah. So this is actual Tennessee Titans gear. And when my good friend Jeff Skinner went through an absolutely harrowing cancer battle, his friends were wanting to do a fundraiser. Jeff is a great guy, pillar of our community, owns a wonderful business in Dayton, Tennessee. I said, Jeff, I'm there, man, if I can provide anything. And so I went there, played my guitar, and acted like me. And anyways, I'm looking at all the stuff that was donated, and lo and behold, he is friends with a Tennessee Titan who donated a bunch of his exclusive stuff. And so I bought a few pieces, and then Jeff goes, because the guy was my size. I guess I'm built like a professional athlete. And but anyways, Jeff says, dude, you did such a great job here. We want to give you. He gave me this. How cool is that? No,
awesome.
I get complimented all like, man, I've been looking for that stuff. I'm like, well, good luck. Unless you're one of the Titans, you're not going to get it. So, boom. So, anyways, thank you, Bo. I appreciate the comment. And, of course, we got other people watching. If you guys have any questions, that's great. But, really, we summed up, what this amp is all about. It's about portability, tone, the fact that it's packed with different effects and features, some of which are quite expensive, okay? So, for example, just so you guys know what this amplifier costs, $400. It's not expensive. To put in perspective, there is a super insanely popular pedal right now made by Boss. It costs $200. It's called the Slicer.
It's $170.
Oh, it's $170. Okay. Called the Slicer. The Slicer is built into this, okay? And what the Slicer is it's a form of tremolo, I would call it, and it slices up your sound. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. Well, Adam's going to give you a demonstration. So here's the Slicer. See, it has a kind of a bounce. So you can go in there and actually edit the effect. So here's the Slicer. Let's pattern P16. So what the Slicer is different rhythmic patterns of tremolo, of a hard tremolo. And there's 20 different patterns. It has the same knob settings as this famous $200 pedal right now that nobody can buy. They're super popular. But it's built in to this amplifier. How cool is that? I'm sorry, man. When you have one effect that is half the amp, dude, this is kind of a no-brainer, Very cool piece of gear and so on. Anyway, so, Mainstage Music is the only authorized Boss dealer in our drivable area, we'll just say, that has both Katana bass amplifiers in stock, the 1 and the 210. Hey, we would love to help train you guys on how to use this piece of gear. We know that it's going to help what you do, whether in the stage, the studio, or just jamming. And so it's something I would really love for you guys to come down and check out. So that being said, thank you for watching. We hope you can check back in with us. And another thing, so in a couple of weeks, it's our last artist showcase of the year. And we've made an announcement. We've made a decision, okay? The last artist of the year is going to be a band you've never heard of. Well, maybe. Called Rex and the Ramblers. And Rex and the Ramblers is Adam, myself, and my brother Clayton, and of course, the incomparable Jim Hallengren. So we're going to do some cool songs for you guys in a couple of weeks. You can check out Rex and the Ramblers. It's going to be a fun way to close out the year as far as our artist showcase, and way to thank you guys and stuff for jamming with us and stuff like that, enjoying the show. So definitely make sure to set your bat time and bat channel for all you people of a certain age who understand that retro nim. Anyway, because we've got a lot of very cool things that are going to be coming your way. Otherwise, definitely come down, check out the Boss Katana bass. Also, we have the full complement of Boss amplifiers. We can show you all this cool stuff in shop. So I'll tell you what, Garcon, why don't you end us with a cool, funky, there we go. Sounds like some fun there.